Hi, this is Christa at The Secret Yarnery. Today we are making this adorable stacking shell border. You can put this border on any blanket at all. It's based on a multiple of 3 stitch count, so perfect for granny squares or granny square baby blankets, anything with sets of 3. But you can also adjust it to any stitch count you like, because we start just by putting a single crochet into our work and then a chain, so you can just adjust that really easily. To make the stacking shell border, you'll use any yarn that goes along with your blanket and the same size hook. And you'll also need a needle for sewing in your ends later, and that's it. The white I'm using to go with my puzzle baby is called Dora, and I'll put a link to that in the description box down below. For baby blanket size, you'll need a little less than 1 skein, and for twin size, you'll need a bit more. If you'd like to follow along with the written pattern, it is available over on my website, secretyarnery.com, and included in the Candy Cradle Crochet Baby Blanket. So let's get started. So we finished our blanket in this corner right here. So we're just going to turn our work and start our border into the very same corner. So put your hook into that very first stitch right at the corner of your blanket. Loop of yarn on your hook, leaving a long enough tail to sew in with a needle later. Bring it through and slip stitch with both strands to join. Drop your tail and just hold it along your work. Chain 2, 1, 2. And into the top of that next shell, just the second stitch, or the center of the next hill, 1 single crochet, chain 2, into the center of the next hill, 1 single crochet, chain 2, into the center of the next hill, just that top stitch, 1 single crochet, chain 2, 1, 2. If you want to count your stitches, here is 1, 2, 3. We're going into the 4th stitch and making 1 single crochet, chaining 2. If you don't want to count your stitches, we're going into the center stitch of the hill. Just that one right here is the center stitch, the one at the top. 1 single crochet, chain 2. Into the top of the next hill, 1 single crochet. So pause the video and keep going, making a chain 2 and a single crochet into the 4th stitch or the top of the next hill. So pause the video and keep going like this, making a single crochet into the top of the hill and a chain 2 to reach the next one. Don't worry if it looks like it's really tight and there's not enough stitches. We need that tightness to hold our border in place. So keep going like this and I'll meet you at the first corner. Work your way all the way into that corner space. So do your chain 2 and into the top of that chain. So we want 2 strands of that chain on our hook. 1 single crochet, chain 2, and 1 single crochet into the very same stitch. So we're just building a little loop right at that corner for our border. Rotate your work so we can work along the side of our blanket. And now we're going to do the same thing along this side. So chain 2, 1 and 2. And into the legs of this stitch, we just want to go right in between that stitch right there and get 2 strands of the stitch on our hook. Just push your hook in and 1 single crochet. Chain 2, 1 and 2. And into the legs of the next stitch, 1 single crochet, chain 2, legs of the next stitch, single crochet, chain 2, next stitch. So there's actually a little hole we can go into right here. We're going to make our single crochet right into this stitch, right into that space. 1 single crochet, chain 2, into the bottom of the next shell, 1 single crochet, and just keep going like this all the way down this side of your blanket, and I'll meet you when you reach the corner. At the corner, instead of working into our usual spot, we're just going to skip down into that very first stitch. Just down here at the bottom, we want to get a couple strands of yarn on our hook. So push your hook in to that very first stitch and make your single crochet, chain 2 and single crochet all into that very first stitch. Just like that, that'll be our new corner. Turn your work or rotate your work so we can work along the bottom edge of our blanket now. Just working into the space, we're gonna go around that row of single crochet and make a single crochet, chain 2 into the next space, just lining it up in the center, 1 single crochet, chain 2 into the next space. We're lining it up with that center stitch, this little guy right here. That's where we want our crochet to be. So I'm just putting my hook there and making 1 single crochet around everything. Don't worry if it's all turned and looking funny. Chain 2 into the next space, 1 single crochet around everything. Chain 2 into the space, 1 single crochet around everything. Chain 2 into the next space, 1 single crochet around everything. And just continue doing a chain 2 and a single crochet into the space all the way along the bottom edge. And when you come back, you can give it a little pull, and those stitches will find a nice spot to line up, and they'll help that first row look like nice little shells. So pause the video and keep going along, making a chain 2 and a single crochet into each space all the way along this side until you reach your corner. After your last space before the corner, do your usual chain 2. And now into that corner stitch, we're going to work into that chain. So 2 strands of that chain on your hook and single crochet. Chain 2, 1 and 2, and 1 more single crochet into the very same stitch. Rotate your work, and now we're going to work all the way back up along this side, doing our chain 2 and single crochet into the bottom of the shell. So chain 2, and we're going to single crochet right into where all these stitches start. Each one of these spots will get a single crochet. So single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. So just where that color changes, it's nice and easy to see if you're using Puzzle Baby. If not, just look for where your shell starts. Chain 2 and single crochet into each spot. So keep going like that all the way along this side of your blanket, and I'll meet you when you get to the corner. When we get close to that corner, just finish your chain 2, and we're going to go in to the very same stitch where we joined our yarn. So just push your hook in and make 1 single crochet. Rotate your work a little bit. Chain 2, 1, 2, and now we're going to slip stitch to join. We're going to slip stitch right in between these 2 legs where we joined our yarn. So I'm just going to push my hook in right in between those 2 legs of that very first stitch. Now push your hook in and slip stitch to join. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. That counts as your first double crochet. And now we can work over our tail a little bit. You can just hold it along the top of your chain here. Into the space, 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Into the stitch, 1 double crochet. And 2 double crochets into that space. 1 and 2. I'm going to drop my tail so I can work that back in the other way with a needle later. Into the stitch, 1 double crochet. Into the space, 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Into the stitch, 1 double crochet. Into the space, 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. 1 into the stitch, 2 into the space, 1 and 2. So pause the video and keep going along, making 1 double crochet into the stitch and 2 into each space, working all the way along until you reach the corner. At your corner, we want to go into this single crochet here, so always 1 double crochet into the stitch. So that's right before our corner space, 1 double crochet into that stitch. And now into our corner space, right here, we're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. So wrap your yarn and into that corner space, 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, chain 2, rotate your work, and 2 double crochets into the same space, 1 and 2. So that's going to be our new corner. And into that single crochet into the corner, we want to do our double crochet right into that stitch. So don't forget those single crochets at your corner. So into the space, the first space, I'll just do 1 double crochet and 1 into the stitch. The next space, 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, and 1 into the stitch, and then just 1 double crochet into the next space. 1. 1 into the stitch, 2 into the next space, 1 and 2, 1 into the stitch, and 1 into the space. So every other set of shells, every other shell is just going to get 1 double crochet into that space at the top. So 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets. So keep working your way down along the side of your blanket, 1 double crochet into the stitch, and then alternate doing 2 double crochets into the space, 1 into the stitch, and into the next space, just do 1 double crochet. So that's just slowly reducing the number of stitches along the side so that it matches the top and bottom of our blanket. Bottom of your blanket, you will do the same, 2 double crochets into every single space and 1 into every single stitch. And sides, you'll be doing 1 double crochet into every other space instead of 2. So keep going and I'll meet you when you get back to where we started. When you reach your corner, just keep working up to it. So that is my double crochet into the stitch before the corner space. And then into the corner space, 2 double crochet, 1 and 2, chain 2, 1, 2, rotate your work a little bit, and 2 more double crochet into that same corner spot, the same space, 1 and 2. Our chain 3 counted as our first double crochet from our stitch. So now we can just slip stitch straight into the top of that chain 3, 2 strands of that stitch on our hook, and slip stitch to join. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn your work. So now we're 2 stitches away. We're going to work right back into that corner. So into your corner space, 1 single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1 single crochet into the same corner. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 2. So we're going to skip 2 stitches. We're going to skip 1 and 2. We're going to go into the third. So into the third stitch, 1 single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, into the third, 1 single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, and 1 single crochet into the third. So now you're going to pause the video and keep working your way along, doing a chain 3 and a single crochet into the third stitch. So keep going all the way along and I'll meet you at the first corner. When you reach your corner, do your regular chain 3 and jump straight into that corner space to make your single crochet. Chain 3 again. Rotate your work just so we can work down the new side of our border. And one more single crochet into that corner space. Chain 3, skip 2 stitches, and 1 single crochet into the third. So you just want to make sure that whatever you did before the corner, however many stitches you had to skip, you're going to skip the same number on the other side. So you just want to make sure that those match. And for your corners, you're going to do single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet all into the same corner space. So keep going all the way around your blanket, and I will see you when we get back to where we started. When you get back to where we started, this is our chain right there. We're going to go right into the bottom, right into that stitch, and we're going to slip stitch to join. So I've done my chain 3, and right into the bottom of that first chain, slip stitch to join. Chain 1, and 1 single crochet into this next chain space. And now we're right at the corner. So into the corner, the very first single crochet right here, we are going to do our shell. So 3 double crochets into that first single crochet. 1, 2, and 3. Into that chain space, 1 single crochet, just into that corner chain. Rotate your work so we can work along the new side. And now into this next single crochet right here. So the last single crochet of the corner, 1 more shell, so 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. So that's how we're going to do our corners. Into the space, single crochet. Into the stitch, 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. Single crochet into the space, and 3 double crochet into the stitch. 1, 2, 3. Single crochet into the space, and 3 double crochet into the stitch. There's 2, and here is 3. Single crochet into the space, and 3 double crochet into the stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Single crochet into the space. So we're going to keep working along the side of our blanket, making 1 single crochet into the space, 3 double crochet into the stitch, 1 single crochet into the space, 3 double crochet into the stitch, 1 single crochet into the space, all the way along. And corners, we are doing the same thing. 3 double crochet into the first stitch of the corner, a single crochet into the corner chain, and 3 double crochet into the last stitch of the corner. So keep working your way along your blanket like that, and I'll meet you when we get back to where we started. When you get back to where you joined, just keep working along. So single crochet into that last space. We have a stitch here where we pinned everything down. That is going to be our new single crochet for a shell. So wrap your yarn and push your hook into that stitch and make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to slip stitch right here, right into that first single crochet. We're going to do a little slip stitch. So push your hook in, bring your yarn back, and slip stitch to join. Chain 1, cut your yarn, leaving a long enough tail to sew in with a needle later. Pull your hook up and your yarn out and snug that down to secure. turn your work. So working into the back of your shells, the macaroni side. So just make sure that these cute little V's are facing down. We want to be working into the back of our work. Put your hook into the top of any of your shells. Loop of your new color yarn on your hook, just something you used from the center of your blanket. Bring it through and slip stitch with both strands to join. Drop your tail and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Just put your hook in to the center of the next shell and make 1 single crochet. Chain 3. Into the center stitch of the next shell, 1 single crochet. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Into our corner, so keep jumping over, so into the center of the first shell, 1 single crochet. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. So now into the corner, into that single crochet right in the middle of those corner shells, we're going to make 1 single crochet, just right there. 1 single crochet. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And into the middle stitch of that next shell, right here. 1 single crochet. So now keep going around like this, doing a single crochet and chain 3 into the top of the next hill. The only difference for this round is we're putting in that single crochet in the middle of our corner. So pause the video and I'll meet you when you get back to where we started. When you get back to where you started, do your usual chain 3, and we're just going to slip stitch right into the center of that very first stitch to join, just between those legs of that stitch. Push your hook in and make 1 slip stitch. Chain 1 and turn your work. Make 1 single crochet into the next space. And now we're going to do the same as row 4. So 3 double crochets into each stitch. 1, 2, and 3. And single crochet into the space. So 3 double crochets into the stitch. 1, 2, 3, and 1 single crochet into the stitch. And now just keep repeating row 4 all the way around, including your corners. If you want to end with an invisible join, just after your last double crochet, cut your yarn and pull it up through that stitch. Just like that. Thread your needle, and now we want to work into this first single crochet, the stitch that goes into that space. And we're just going to put our needle in straight the way we would if we were crocheting. So we'd put our hook right underneath both strands of that first single crochet. So go ahead and do that with your needle. And you want to keep an eye on where this yarn is coming from, which is this stitch right here. You want to keep an eye on that little spot where our yarn came from. So snug that up. And now go back down where the yarn came from, right into the same spot. Just like that. And that gives us a super cute invisible join where you can't tell where we started and stopped. So go ahead and sew in your tail and you're finished. So thanks so much for hooking along. I'd love to see how yours turned out. You can follow me over on Instagram at Secret Yarnery. I would love to see how yours turned out. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and the notification bell beside that so you don't miss out on any awesome tutorials just like this. So thanks so much for hooking along. We'll see you in the next video and stay hooked.